Right now at 10, the family of a couple who died in a fiery Tesla crash files a wrongful death lawsuit. How they're looking to end the ongoing trend of changing door designs.
And SNAP will partially be funded for this month, the local initiative to feed those waiting for benefits to be sent out.
Plus, the Packers will be without their tight end, Tucker Kraft, what his ACL tear means for the season. This is all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Eric Franke. We begin tonight with breaking news. The Madison Police Department is searching for a missing man.
That's right. Jerry Charles was last seen about 12:30 this afternoon. Police say he was on a bike path near Allied Drive walking towards Fitchburg. Charles was wearing a maroon sweatshirt and black pants. He is around 6 feet tall with a partially gray mustache. There is a photo there, and a beard. Police say Charles does have dementia and does not have a phone. If you have seen this person or know where he is, please contact Madison Police.
The family of a couple who died in a fiery Tesla crash last November has filed a wrongful death lawsuit.
On November 1st of last year, 5 people were in a 2016 Model S Tesla on Range Trail in Verona when they crashed into a tree. The car then caught fire, killing everyone inside. Now the family of Jeff and Michelle Bauer from Crandon is alleging that the vehicle's defective door design trapped the couple inside the burning, powerless car after the crash.
If you lose electric power, then how do you get to the door handle? It's not very hard to envision scenarios that happen. And unfortunately, a number of companies have followed Tesla's lead in designing door handles that basically have to present themselves in order for you to open the door. And it's a bad trend safety-wise.
This lawsuit aims to hold Tesla accountable for knowingly designing vehicles that turn survivable crashes into fatal tragedies. We've also reached out to Tesla but have yet to receive a response. And now to the forecast. It was a beautiful day outside, Alex. We're hoping we'll have more of that on the way.
I got some of that on the way here. 60 tomorrow, 60 Janesville. 60 will be a common number. A touch of a breeze as we head into the day. Not quite as windy, though, as what we experienced today. Maybe even 63 degrees, that warm spot. Prairie du Chien off to the south and to the west. But these days of warm temperatures are limited for southern Wisconsin. We've got changes on the way. Changing right now, already down to 31 actually in Lone Rock, 34 in Bosqueville. Often the Wisconsin River Valley or river valleys in general have a tendency for that cold air to pool and cool off faster than areas that are a little bit higher in elevation. Madison still hanging on to 47, but we will cool down pretty quickly tonight into the 30s overall. We still got 47 in Sun Prairie, cooler off to the west, 43 in Cross Plains, 43 Mount Horeb, and 48 the warm spot right now in McFarland. As we plan the night, 36, that's what we'll wake up to on Tuesday. That beautiful day getting up to near 60 degrees with just a few passing clouds, and then the changes. The big changes happen this upcoming weekend. Temperatures as cold, struggling to get possibly out of the 30s to right around 40 degrees as we head towards Sunday and Monday. And that's going to be accompanied with precipitation. Thursday night, system number 1. System number 2 could bring a mix of rain and snow. We'll track that together when I come back in a little while.
Alex, thank you. Today, the Trump administration announced it will provide partial SNAP benefits for November amid the government shutdown. The U.S. Department of Agriculture said it'll tap $4.65 billion from its contingency fund. That would cover 50% of current allotments for eligible households. However, recipients will not see the payments immediately. And while waiting for the federal government to shore up SNAP, Dane County Executive Melissa Agard announced an emergency food drive. She's encouraging residents to bring food either directly to the volunteer-run Badger Prairie Needs Network, any Dane County government building, or a local food bank. This is to try and help the roughly 64,000 people in Dane County who rely on food share.
I do hope that other levers become available to us. But right now, it is important for us all to remember that no one can solve the problem by themselves. This isn't something that government can solve by itself, or the private sector can solve by itself, or our philanthropic arms in our community can solve by itself. This is when we all need to come together.
Volunteers at the Badger Prairie Needs Network say right now the most needed items include canned tuna, salmon, and chicken, canned beans, canned fruit, sugar, and flour. You can find a full list of needed items and how to donate with this story linked at our website, channel3000.com.
And the Goodman Community Center is also asking for your help with its Thanksgiving basket drive. This after public registration reached capacity faster than ever. The annual Thanksgiving basket drive provides the fixings for families to make a full Thanksgiving meal at home. Starting November 15th, you can donate the food and money needed to fill 4,000 baskets. Now, one way to help is to set up a food drive. The center has provided grocery lists, posters, and tips to make your drive successful. News 3 is a proud partner in this Thanksgiving basket drive. Financial donations can also be made online at goodmancenter.org/donate.
More cases and deaths have been linked to a listeria outbreak in prepared pasta meals sold at major retailers. The products include Trader Joe's Cajun-style blackened chicken breast fettuccine Alfredo, Sprouts Farmers Market smoked mozzarella pasta salad, and Scott John's shrimp scampi with linguine bowls. They were recalled from stores including Walmart, Safeway, and Kroger stores, though most had Best Buy dates that have already passed. So far, 6 people have died. 27 have gotten sick in 18 states, and symptoms of listeria usually start 1 to 4 weeks after eating contaminated food and include fever, muscle aches, diarrhea, stiff neck, and even seizures.
A top drug regulator at the FDA is resigning amid controversy. Officials said that George Tidmarsh submitted his resignation over the weekend. This is after being placed on administrative leave Friday. He allegedly posted a critical comment about a new drug made by Canadian pharmaceutical company, saying that it has significant toxicity. The company filed a lawsuit accusing Tidmarsh of making false statements and soliciting a bribe. Also, Kimberly Clark, the maker of Huggies, is buying Kenvue. That is the parent company of Tylenol. Company officials say this nearly $50 billion deal brings together 10 major brands and will push yearly revenue to $32 billion. Other products in this acquisition include Kleenex and Listerine. The transaction is expected to close in the second half of next year.
Tonight, the Dane County Board heard public comment on budget amendments as it looks to cut positions from the sheriff's office to save money. The latest proposal suggests a hiring freeze on 20 deputies to save roughly $2.3 million. That saved money would be reallocated to the Health and Human Services Department. The sheriff says any pause on hiring could delay or even halt the new county jail set to open in 2027. But one county board supervisor says a freeze is already a compromise.
We've been asked to do a lot, we do a lot, and we tend to the needs of the people throughout the entire county, but it's very clear that our staffing has not kept up with that over the past 2 decades.
I mean, the sheriff has had a number of vacant positions for years, and to open the jail, which is going to be open in 2027, he has the flexibility to do recruitment and hiring.
Tonight, community members demonstrated outside of City Hall in support of the newly proposed amendments, some of which would help Madison's homeless population.
Namely, there is an amendment that will provide something around $2 million to legal camping in the city area, and that would be very, very, very important for the people who are still unhoused or just don't fit the traditional housing molds.
The board is set to meet for budget deliberations at 5 p.m. on Wednesday.
According to a recent survey by Bankrate, more than 1 in 4 shoppers may take on some debt this holiday season. And with many Americans still worried about rising costs, secondhand shopping is becoming a more popular way for finding value and meaning in gifts, especially with the stigma around resale shopping starting to disappear.
Because value is king with consumers, this is a great way for them to extend their dollar and get more for their money. Secondhand is also a way to sort of cut through the noise of the ordinary and find more unique items that tell a story, items that are more personal.
Financial experts say there are other ways to save, including taking advantage of end of summer clearance sales, if they're still out there, and using reward credit cards.
For the first time, a Catholic institution returned land to a tribal nation as an act of reparations, and it took place in northern Wisconsin. The Franciscan Sisters transferred the Marywood property in Arbor Vitae back to the Lac de Flambeau Band of Lake Superior Chippewa. The ceremony included a blessing to honor the returned land, the drumming of a traditional tribal song, and speeches from leaders from both sides, all centered on healing and mutual respect.
Well, Packers tight end Tucker Kraft suffered a season-ending ACL tear this weekend.
Our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde tells us what the team's plan is going forward.
Let's be clear, you do not replace a player of Tucker Kraft's ability. He was on pace this season for 68 catches for 1,039 yards and 13 touchdowns. Those numbers would have shattered the Packers franchise records for tight ends. Now his season is over with an MRI confirming this morning that he tore the ACL in his right knee in the Packers' loss to the Carolina Panthers here at Lambeau Field. That said, the Packers have to figure out a way to move forward, and no one wants them to do that without him more than Tucker Kraft himself.
He's doing as good as you could ever be doing considering the circumstances. So Tuck's a guy that he's not going to flinch, and that's why we love him. I mean, he's a hell of a player, hell of a teammate, hell of a guy. I'm bummed for him. I'm bummed for us, but it's part of it, and it's got to be that next man up mentality. And unfortunate for him, but now other guys are going to get an opportunity.
The challenge in doing that is obviously enormous, and the Packers will lean on Luke Musgrave to take over at tight end. They will probably need more tight end help, but they do have a lot of weapons at the wide receiver position. Look for Matt LaFleur to make some adjustments to his scheme in order to feature more of those wide receivers. We'll explain that and everything else Packers on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
As he said, Luke Musgrave will take over for Kraft Monday night, November 10th, when the Packers take on the defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles at Lambeau Field. Kickoff set for 7:15 p.m.
Camp Randall is getting ready to rock again. AC/DC is set to make a stop there next summer. The July 19th, 2026 stop is part of the band's Power Up Tour, known for classics like Highway to Hell, Back in Black, and Thunderstruck. AC/DC has sold more than 200 million albums worldwide since that first performance back in December of 1973. Tickets for AC/DC performance become available this Friday at 10:30 a.m.
Next at 10, President Trump sits down for an interview with 60 Minutes.
And the government shutdown continues to cause delays at airports across the country. This as the Senate looks to vote for a 14th time to end the deadlock. That's next.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Well, we told you earlier the Trump administration is partially funding SNAP benefits.
This comes as the Senate prepares to vote for a 14th time on a measure to reopen the government. Erica Brown has more.
The Trump administration said Monday it will use a contingency fund to partially pay out SNAP benefits this month after rulings from 2 federal judges. But there are concerns about how long that money will last.
It cost over $9 billion to fund SNAP for a month, and we only have, I think it's $5.2 billion in the contingency fund. So you have a big shortfall.
Democratic leaders pushed back, arguing the USDA has the authority to continue to pay full SNAP benefits.
And the courts should do everything they can to force this administration, cruel as it may be, manipulating hungry people as it is doing. The courts must make sure that full benefits are restored.
It's unclear when the partial SNAP funds will be dispersed, with the USDA warning there could be delays. The ongoing government shutdown caused a funding lapse, affecting more than 40 million Americans who rely on the food assistance program. The deadlock is also causing major disruptions at airports across the country.
So we came here around 2.5 hours in advance, and the lines were to outside. So we had to wait around, or we would have had to wait around 5 to 6 hours to get into the actual airport itself.
Here on Capitol Hill, there are few signs of progress to end this stalemate as Democrats continue to hold out for extensions to Affordable Care Act subsidies. The Senate is expected to vote for a 14th time on Tuesday on a measure to reopen the government. If that fails, the shutdown could become the longest in U.S. history. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
This weekend, the president returned to 60 Minutes for his first interview with the program in 5 years. The president fielded questions on topics from immigration to the government shutdown. He also addressed the upcoming Supreme Court oral arguments on whether his tariff policy is legal and what happens to his economic plan if the high court rules against him.
I think our country will be immeasurably hurt. I think our economy will go to hell.
The wide-ranging interview also covered topics including cost of living, foreign policy challenges, and concerns about the possible use of the military to combat crime in American cities.
Turning to the weather now, it was a beautiful day outside. I loved it.
Yeah, it was lots of sunshine out there. Alex, how long will this trend stick around?
It's going to stick around for a couple of days, and then the rug is just going to get yanked right out from underneath us by the time we get to the weekend. After highs of 60 on Tuesday, 50s for the rest of the week, then we'll struggle to get out of the 30s by the time we get to the end of the upcoming weekend, and then we slowly work our way out of that as we go out into the following work week. And with that, we have precipitation on Saturday going into Sunday, and with temperatures in the 30s, some of that rain may be in the form of a mix of rain and wet snow, and preceding that weather system is some rain as we go into Thursday night as well. So we're going to start with that. We're going to track the rain and the possible mix. First off here, showing you by 8 o'clock Thursday, some showers off to the north and west of Madison become widespread by the time we get to 10 o'clock from Madison and areas off towards the west. They sweep through quickly, similar to some of our past weather systems that have those showers in the evening and then they're gone by the next morning. Maybe a shower or two during the day on Friday, but then weather system number 2 is on the way. A first glimpse at that, showing a few showers, maybe a couple wet snowflakes north and west of Camp Douglas and Viroqua by the time we get to 10:30 in the morning on Saturday. Getting into the later afternoon hours and then the overnight, rain and possibly a mix of rain and wet snow Saturday going into Saturday night. Also carrying on into Sunday with gusty northwesterly winds. You see the blues and the greens here. There's that mix depicted by Future Track going on through Sunday. Maybe even a couple of snow showers left as we go from Sunday evening into Monday. So that we'll keep a very close eye on that weather system because it could be the first maybe trace of snow that we get this winter season, or as we head towards the winter season, I should say, rather. 36 for low temperature tonight. We'll do 34 in Baraboo, 34 in Lone Rock, and 36 to the south and east. In Janesville, high temperatures tomorrow, gorgeous, right up near 60 degrees, maybe even sneaking in a 62 to the west in Prairie du Chien. So gorgeous day is on tap as we go into Tuesday. Not quite as windy as what we were experiencing today. Let's take the 10-day full screen here as it will be breezy the next couple of days here. Saturday going on into Sunday, we've got that Badger game. Then we have the Madison Marathon on Sunday. So let's break down those two activities this weekend. A chilly day on Saturday. Temperatures tailgating 40s, only 43, breezy, maybe that light rain and maybe a couple snowflakes as we head into Saturday evening. And that Madison Marathon Sunday morning not looking very nice. Even if this weather system shifts a little bit to the south or to the north, it's still going to be breezy and a bit on the chilly side. So we'll certainly be keeping our eye on both of those weather systems, or I should say that weather system this weekend, as it does pose that chance for a little bit of rain and for snow. And speaking of snow, we have Winter Weather Awareness Week that is coming up. Want to win a First Warn Weather shovel? Enter our Winter Ready photo contest. Download and launch the First Warn Weather app. Then just scroll down just a little bit. There's a Winter Ready photo contest card. There you can submit your favorite winter weather photo. 5 lucky winners will be announced during Winter Weather Awareness Week, which is the 17th through the 21st of November. So again, First Warn Weather app, just scroll down just a little bit. We're already getting submissions, and click on that Winter Ready photo contest card, and then you can submit your photo.
It's a cool shovel, too. It's really nice.
We have one right around the corner.
Very fancy, ergonomic and all that. Good for the back. Hopefully you won't have to use it at all
He's
winter.
taking it already.
I'm not going to touch that thing. I hope we don't need it all winter. Alex, thank you. Coming up, Badger Men's Hoops team back in action. The season opener tonight at the Kohl Center. All the highlights and hear the post-game report. Some of the players next in sports.
That things have been feeling with some other sports in Wisconsin. Badger fans could sure use a win right now. And tonight, good thing, was the season opener for Wisconsin men's basketball, playing host to Campbell. And we picked things up in the second half where the Fighting Camels were hanging around, but the Badgers fought back. The new guard, Nick Boyd, getting buckets, and he was doing it from the get-go. The reverse rolls in. He'd finish with 15. Sean Blackwell had 17 in the first half, and in the second, another triple makes it 20. He was put on the Naismith Player of the Year watch list today and backed it up with his play. And later, his only teammate that came to Wisconsin with him, the fellow junior, has no problem with the weather outside. Nolan Winter, the Minnesota native, cold-blooded with the flush. And later, Winter shows he can do it from deep too. Midway through the second, he puts the Badgers up by 8 with a triple of his own. Winter finished with 17 points and 12 rebounds. And the Badger lead would only balloon from there. Later on, Blackwell corner pocket, you betcha. JB finished with 31 points to go with 4 rebounds and 3 assists. And the Badgers start their season just the way they wanted to with an emphatic 96-64 win.
The biggest jump for me is mentally. From my freshman year, sophomore year, I'm young and now I'm an upperclassman. So mentally just being better every single day for myself and then definitely for my teammates and coaches.
I think, like he said, his mindset and his leadership role that he kind of came into throughout this offseason, what he really worked on, being out there, being a leader for the team. I think as a team, as the returners, you can really see that he took a huge step for us in that role. That's huge to have someone like John out there.
The Badger men were as advertised in their season opener, and really the only bad news that came from the Kohl Center this evening is the fact that we need to wait till Friday to see them play again. Of course, we'll be right there with them, but for now, at the Kohl Center, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
Trying to pronounce the dinosaur's name. Finally tonight, a new study changing how a prehistoric Midwestern resident is being classified. The research comes from the Dueling Dinosaurs collection housed at a North Carolina museum. Paleontologists thought the bones belonged to a Triceratops and a young T-Rex, but after studying the bones, they say that the T-Rex is actually a fully grown species known as, and this is what I was trying to practice, Nanotyrannus lancensis.
You got busted practicing. That's my favorite part of the night. All right. This discovery has led Rockford's Burpee Museum of Natural History to reclassify Jane the T-Rex Museum. Officials say she is now a new species called Nanotyrannus lethaeus. That means Jane is truly one of a kind, as she is the only specimen known to date.
Our producer Abe from Rockford. How many times, Abe, have you been to that? Have you been to that museum?
Oh yeah.
20 times. He loves dinosaurs. That's why we often have these dinosaur last stories.
And you have to know how to
practice
pronounce
them. You got to practice them. And I practiced it, but my mic opened and you got to hear me practice. Alex is back. Final check of the forecast.
Yeah, 30s tonight. High temperatures tomorrow getting up into the 60s, and we'll be mild through the end of the week. But then we'll keep all attention on a weather system this weekend that could bring some snowflakes by Sunday.
All right, thanks, Alex, and thanks for watching, everyone. The Colbert Show's up next.
That's right. Our next newscast tomorrow morning, 4:30. You can always find us streaming 24/7 at Channel 3000+. Have a good night.